Boom! I'm back with PT's book. Sound. When people listen to music, they don't realize that their attention usually concentrates on either the vocals, the beat, or the tune. But all these three just act as distractions from the real element, sound. That's why many get away with poxy, plasticky, annoying DG sound. Yeah. Some music today is so annoying. I don't know how people can seriously listen to that and enjoy it. You have to be a dead robot zombie asleep to enjoy some kind of sound like this in your ears. Through the use of repetitive hypnotic loops called tunes, or verbal diarrhea called lyrics, it's like selling a worthless product through clever packaging. The sounds which most of so-called musicians are useless for the soul. LotusOcean radio. Beautiful fall, autumn day. Autumn, I prefer autumn. Autumn day. Yeah, début d'automne. LotusOcean radio. There are a lot of radios blaring sound out there to drag each and every one towards hell and hellish states. So here are some sounds from LotusOcean for doing just the opposite. So radio station PT is http radio.lotus /ocean.net. The real stairway to heaven. I'm going to show you the link. The real stairway to heaven sounds to clean your mind consciousness. OFC only if you approach them with respect and receptivity. If you do, we can promise your ears will never be the same again. Rainmaking. Rainmaking. In ancient times, music was not a disconnected, separative entity to broadcast one's immature depression. It was connected with the pulse and vibration of the multiverse and the elements. Real music, when played properly, could thus invoke rain or make it disappear, depending upon the intention. Rock and roll, next. Real rock and roll is about having individuation and independence. It's about taking responsibility for one's own self. Self being the body, mind, spirit, soul, trinity. It takes lots of discipline, learning, attitude, and knowledge to get there. The prevalent, publicized, globalized version, which has idols who are basically suicidal and do not take any responsibility for the self, is not rock and roll. That rock is never gonna roll. Real rock and roll is only by higher and divine, which can actually take one higher. Electric guitar and electric bodies. Even though muggles should lay off all instruments, electric guitar is something they should completely avoid. The chances of making bad sounds with it are enormous. As in the realm of electricity, the sound choice is enormous. Wider aural spectrum to mess with. Greater aural damage. Electric guitar amplifiers' effects only amplify the incoherence within. Most produce mosquito buzzes and jerky occupy wailing. Usually they hide the electric guitar behind bass, drums, vocals. That's what producers, mixing engineers have done since the 1950s. There has been no person who has been able to handle this instrument solo That includes all the so-called guitar heroes and the millions trying on YouTube. To maintain continuity and coherence on an electric guitar requires one's own electric kundalini to be working properly. It is a magical device with complicated almost quantum possibilities in terms of tones, overtones, harmonics, resonance, feedback, etc. Not an instrument for staggering back from the pub folks. If played properly, a single electric guitar can produce more complex sounds than a whole orchestra, while taking the whole thing into another dimension. It's not about moving your hands and fingers madly, which all muggles think guitar playing is about. It's about sound and holding the wave. One's level of evolution shows through everything one does. But with more loud, powerful electrical tools, it is all hyper magnified. And if one cannot handle electric guitar properly, how is one going to handle another body which is basically all electric, nerves, brain, and nature? Singing. There are lots of attempts at singing by various gene pools here on Earth. From an objective outsider's look, it is seen that most of these gene pools haven't even learned to speak properly. Speak from the center of their mouths. They all speak in loop-sided, twisted ways, either to the left or to the right. If you don't believe, switch on the tele and start paying attention. Toddlers learn to walk before they run, but here people learn to sing before they can speak. All twisted and annoying wailing, screaming passes off as singing as long as it aims to hit some funny interval called notes. No intonation, no metric power in the voice is seen as a requirement for singing. In fact, it is taboo to be that impactful. Singing is, after all, just one part of the light entertainment circus. Knowing is also not seen as having any relation with the voicing, despite the fact that all tales tell an opposite tale. The voice of Bene Gesserit in Dune, which can command, or the voice of sages in the Puranas, which has a direct soul impact. Anything real with any power has to be avoided. Simple, because it's not something one can relate to. I'll be back.